Hello, it's Jeanette Brown here and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about the story of my light bulb moment, the moment when I finally understood why I've always been prone to anxiety, constantly hypervigilant and sensitive to other people's emotions around me. Now it began with me stumbling onto an article describing a personality trait that I resonated so completely with. This was me. It actually blew me away. Why had I never heard of this trait before? Of course I had to learn more, so I did lots of research. I learned about the qualities and challenges of this personality trait. I then followed some specific strategies to make the most of what I had learned and to use this trait as an asset in my life. Now, before I talk about these strategies and the trait itself, here's a little bit about my story. I've always had a tendency to anxiety and have been a chronic worrier at different times in my life. I've always been sensitive to the feelings and emotions of people around me. I hate crowded places and have often suffered from analysis paralysis in making decisions. Over the years, people have often told me that I'm too sensitive, that I need to toughen up and not be such a people pleaser. I am an analytical person, which has held me in good stead throughout my career in education, but not so good when I ruminate and overthink when I become stressed. Then I read about this article about the personality trait highly sensitive person. Now, an HSP, as they are known, is someone who has a highly sensitive nervous system, which means they are more sensitive to stimuli both physically and emotionally in their environment. And they process and reflect on things more deeply than others. Now, as I read more about the HSP, I realised that I wasn't just being too sensitive, I was simply a highly sensitive person. Suddenly, everything made sense. I wasn't alone in my sensitivity. There were millions of other people who were just like me, approximately 20% of the population. And best of all, being an HSP wasn't a flaw or a weakness, it was simply a part of who I am. Now, according to Dr. Elaine Aron, who first identified this personality trait in the mid-90s, an HSP has a sensitive nervous system, is aware of subtleties in their surroundings, and is more easily overwhelmed when in a highly stimulating environment. But the key characteristic of an HSP is that, compared to the 80% without this trait, they process everything around them much more. They reflect more, elaborate, and make associations. Elaine Aron is the first therapist to tell HSPs how to identify their trait and make the most of the many strengths of being an HSP. As an HSP herself, Aron reassures others that they are quite normal. Their trait is not a weakness, it is an asset they can learn to use and protect. Now, before I tell you about the strategies I have been following that have literally changed my life, I want to let you know about the qualities of an HSP to see whether you identify with this trait or not. Now, number one, HSPs are more likely to feel things deeply, whether those things are positive or negative. The highs can be great, but the lows can be anxiety-provoking. And HSPs can find it hard to cope and can overreact to stressful situations. For example, highly sensitive people may be more affected by conflict. Watching violent TV shows or films can be very unsettling for them, and many HSPs avoid this. Number two, HSPs tend to feel deeply moved by the beauty they see around them, whether it be art, nature, music. They are attuned to more subtle stimuli in their environment. They feel a connection with nature and find it calming to spend time in nature. So number three, HSPs can be overwhelmed by all the different types of physical, social and emotional stimuli. HSPs' brains process information differently. For example, HSPs can be very affected by crowded shopping centres. noisy crowds, bright lights, and loud music. They tend to be more sensitive to pain as well. Number 4, HSPs have a rich and complex inner life. Being a highly sensitive person means that they are more likely to feel things deeply. For example, they are more likely to reflect deeply on a failure or a negative experience. They may perceive negative motives of other people more easily than non-HSPs. Now, number 5, HSPs find decision-making difficult. Because of HSPs, brains are wired differently. The way they process information and come to a decision is different from other people. They take more time making decisions. They like to think thoroughly before coming up with a solution and can feel overwhelmed when asked to make a particularly tough decision. Ever since the beginning of COVID, many people have had an increased difficulty when it comes to making decisions. There's definitely been more decision fatigue in the population. However, this is even more so for HSPs. Number 6, highly sensitive people often have a high level of emotional intelligence, meaning they are able to understand and manage their own emotions and the emotions of others. This can make them excellent at communication and at building strong relationships. They care deeply about their friends and family and tend to form deep bonds with people. An HSP tends to be more empathic. The danger here, though, is that HSPs can be so attuned to the feelings of others that they ignore their own feelings to their detriment. So here are some strategies I follow to make the most of being an HSP and use it as an asset in my life. So number 1, be clear about what matters to you, your values, your inner resources and your purpose in life. HSPs often think the effect of their decisions on other people's emotions. However, it is important for HSPs to remember they are making decisions for themselves as well. Set boundaries. Say no when you need to look after yourself rather than trying to do the right thing by other people all the time. Number 2, begin a self-compassion practice. Be kind to yourself as you would be with a friend. In fact, be your own best friend and leave that inner critic behind. Number 3, make a plan in advance to manage feelings in a difficult situation to ensure you don't become overwhelmed. HSPs tend to be more reflective and introspective and take longer to process their emotions. Number 4, take your time to make decisions. Think slowly and carefully, make a list of the pros and cons. If you make a decision hastily, you may come to regret it. In certain situations, you can even ask for more time to make a big decision that may impact on yours or others' lives. Number 5, find supportive relationships. HSPs may benefit from being surrounded by understanding people. It's also important for HSPs to be honest about their needs and to communicate openly and directly. Number 6, involve yourself in activities that bring joy. Highly sensitive people may find joy in activities that allow them to express themselves creatively, such as writing, painting, dancing or music. They may also find fulfillment in activities that allow them to connect with nature or engage in mindfulness practices. And finally, take care of yourself. Self-care is crucial for everyone, but particularly for highly sensitive people, as they may need more time and space to recharge and process their emotions. This may involve setting aside time to be alone and finding healthy ways to cope with stress. Factor downtime into your busy day, whether it be go for a short walk, do some meditation, or even take time for a cup of tea by yourself so you can recalibrate, ready to face the pressures of the day. Now, learning about this personality trait has been a game changer for me. It has helped me understand myself and my emotions better, navigate life and relationships, and embrace my sensitivity with its benefits as well as its challenges. Now, if you're a highly sensitive person, or if you think you might be, I encourage you to learn more about the HSP. I have a link to a website on HSPs in the description below. Try some of the strategies I follow. It might just make the difference in your life that you have been searching for. It is certainly for me. So thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Until next time.